Hello, it's Kika, your art friend. So glad that you're back. Today we are going to illustrate our own personal photo into an Olympic scene. So step 1, you definitely want to go anywhere in the home or outside and take a picture of yourself doing some sort of action. For example, take a photo of your hands in this pose and then we will draw the weights on top of that. Or maybe you like skateboarding, so you know how to do a simple trick that you can take a photo of yourself, or maybe just standing there. Even you can do a handstand and then we can put it on like a gymnastic vault, or maybe do a handstand and then we can make it look like you're jumping into a pool or doing some sort of flip. So there's many options. To keep it simple today, I got these pictures off of Unsplash. I'm gonna use this. So once you've taken your pictures, you can take a few, be creative, import your pictures to your iPad. When you're in the Photos app, you're looking at your picture, all you have to do is tap and hold to select just yourself. Don't worry about the background, you just want your own pose. Once you've selected it by holding your finger down, tap copy, jump over to Procreate. I'm using a screen size canvas. You might want to change your canvas based on what you want to do with your art. Maybe you have a specific size that you want to use to send to a friend through text message, or you have a picture frame that is digital, a digital picture frame that you need a specific size to import it there so you can look at your art after. But if not, screen size is great. So I've copied my picture, 3-finger, swipe down, your copy and paste menu appears, tap paste. Allow paste. If 3 fingers for whatever reason isn't working, tap the wrench icon and it's here somewhere. Where did it go? Oh, the add. There you go. Wrench icon, actions, add, paste. And your picture will appear. Now I'm gonna tap the transform tool and make this picture a little bit smaller. That's about good. And bring it in the middle. And this works the same for any pose. So for example, say you did a skateboard scene, you could now, let me just grab a sketching pencil and create, make sure you're on a different layer below. You can sketch out a ramp. And you can design this ramp with whatever colors you'd like. So there's one option. But today, I'm going to illustrate this one. So some of the image came into that picture. So what I'm going to do is grab the eraser brush, the soft airbrush, which is an airbrushing, and not soft airbrush, hard airbrush. There we go. And I'm just going to zoom in and erase a little bit of this green. It doesn't have to be perfect, but there's just a little bit too much green. And a little bit of this hole that she's using, because we're going to draw color our own in. So just a little bit, you might have to clean up your image. But create a new layer, grab your sketch pencil. I'm going to use black so you can see it clearly. Let's sketch out a very heavy pole with weights. To start off, my layer is below my image. Let me just delete that. My layer is below. And actually, undo. Clear. We want this pole kind of bending down, like coming in through this way and bending up and down. Just to show how extremely heavy these weights are. And just make sure There you go, that makes more sense. And then do the same here. There you go, so it's looking like he is truly holding on to it. Nice. Okay, keep adding to this pole. Whoops, too far. So you want it long enough so that you can add, a few weights. And I'm gonna very much exaggerate the size of my weights. So I'm gonna make my pole very, very long. And if I don't use, I can just erase. It's no big deal. So there's my sketch. I will definitely have to go into the picture and erase a little more of that pole. Make sure, you know, just has her hair. And this is great if you're using the soft airbrush as well, because it gives it a soft edge. As you're erasing some of that extra photo. There we go. That looks great. Back to my sketching layer to continue. I'm gonna add a very big weight here. I'm gonna round out my edges to make it more cartoony. Yes, I'm on the right layer, okay. And just like a very little one. Nice. In the middle we would erase. So that means the end of my pole would be right there. How's that? That looks great. And just to keep it more goofy, I'm gonna have the smallest weight on the inside. And maybe another, I'll do a big weight, but a very thin, just very, very thin. Make sure it's angled. Since the pole's angled, you want the weights to be angled too. Very thin one. And then a very, very thick one. Let's go with like a medium size thick one. And then the end of the pole is right there. Now to color this in, we can use any brush, any color, all will be great. I'm just gonna be using the airbrush brushes for this illustration. So I'm gonna start off with a hard brush for the pole. There's my sketch, new layer. And poles are usually gray. I'm gonna make mine turquoise. That's fun. So this is the, what did I say? Hard airbrush. My size is about 1920. And if you're drawing and it's a little bit wobbly and you want it more smooth, and it's not coming out smooth, but let's clear this. What you can do is tap on that specific brush Open up stabilizer and see how the amount of stabilizing is 0. Just bring it up to 80%. And then once you're done, you can bring it back down or you can change it later. But about 80% will give you very smooth lines compared to the wobbly ones. Just zooming in. Because this brush is very rounded, giving us nice round edges that I want. We go through the hand. And depending how much time you have, you can just keep going with this. For example, depending on the pose you did when you took the picture. If you're standing, for example, on the ground or maybe on the chair, and you're standing on something, you can make it look like you're standing on a mountain, for example. Okay, I got my pole. What I'm gonna do is turn on auto lock. I'm gonna use soft airbrush and add in some highlights. Decrease my brush size. My brush size too big. Okay, so my brush size is about 8%. I'm not at the very edge, but close to it. Very lightly adding the highlight where maybe the sun is hitting my pole. And I'm going to grab that original color, do the same thing, but deepen it on the bottom, maybe increase my brush size a bit. At the very bottom, add in some shading, especially around the hands because she's holding it. Just lightly adding shading. And around the hands, you might have to deepen the color just a little bit more and add like a double shadow. Around the hands, some extra shading. And if the pole is going around your hair or anything like that, same idea. Some extra shading. We're done with that. New layer. I'm gonna grab maybe like a green, a pink, and a red and an orange. Just they're all gonna be different colors. Back to now I'm gonna use medium hard airbrush. Start off with the green. Maybe an orange would be fun. Pink. It's very a little too bright. And again, we're using, instead of hard brush, medium hard brush. If it's too wobbly, tap on the brush, open up stabilization, and increase your amount of stabilization, and it'll work out great. I'm very curious to see what kind of poses you did and what sport you chose. So please comment below in the comments section what pose you did, what style you went for. And if you have Instagram, tag me on Instagram so I can see the results, because I think these are going to turn out a lot of fun. And maybe you can do like a group photo even. You and siblings, your whole family. Maybe a yellow. Yeah, let's do a yellow. Yellow will be the very skinny one. After you color in your weights, same idea with the pole, adding some shading and I think red. Yeah, I like the color. Would be a lot of fun too. That looks great. Or you can draw in a whole bunch of little people and have like a crowd in front of you. And what I mean by like little people, like not full of a stage here, and just you can color in like some heads, different heads, or a head with just the top body. It can be very simple. There's like, you know, half a person, a little person. You just fill the screen in front of you. But before we go there, tap on the weights, alpha lock, or you can create a new layer and tap clipping mask, also will do well. Let's do that. We did alpha lock already, so how about we do clipping mask? So create a new layer, tap clipping mask, you'll see an arrow to the weights. And then you know clipping mask is enabled. Select your original color, increase the size of that color. Let's use soft airbrush. And you're pressing very lightly, almost like an upside down L for that highlight. And then pick up the same original color and deepen it just here by the pull area. And now you're doing an L shape for the bottom here. And because it's on its own layer, it won't affect the existing weight layer. We're just going to continue that. Grab that original color. Always press lightly, add in simple strokes. That's the trick with the airbrush brushes in Procreate. Light pressure and build up. If it's not dark enough, just deepen it a bit. Play around with the brush size, a little bit smaller, a little bit larger. We get a better feel for the brush and the effect it gives. This is a very simple kind of doodly style, just to add some fun to your photos. And what you can also do is now that when you finish them, you should say, you can bring in the original photo into Procreate to have the background that you already of the outside. I'll show you what I mean in a second. Whoop, too dark, too dark. Yellows are tricky when you're using yellow because getting a deeper shade, you almost want to go for more saturated, not darker, because you can tend to go like green or orange, or sometimes to get a deeper yellow, instead of deepening it within the inner circle, you just want to increase the orange of that specific yellow. Just some things to consider. Okay, I'm happy with my colorful, super heavy weights that this woman is holding. And now what you can do, so that are original pictures, she's in the gym. So I'm just going to copy this entire photo, paste it in to Procreate. And the trick now is I need to line up that photo with the one I have. That means I gotta make this a little bit smaller till it lines up. You can also import a photo by inserting a file or inserting a photo right here. I just did the copy paste option. Okay, I think yeah. So I'm going to show you how to do it, but it won't specifically work from my example, and I'll show you why. Bring the photo, your second photo, all the way to the bottom. So then you'll have the background of the photo you took, but because in your specific photo, you're not actually holding anything, you're just doing the pose. In your picture, you won't have actual weights. So then you'll just be doing your pose with the background of your photo and then the illustrated doodle, which is a lot of fun. But that doesn't work for me since I took a photo of someone actually holding weights. So I'm going to turn that off. I'm going to turn off my sketching as well, and I can just create a simple background, or I can just leave it as is too, to keep it super doodly looking. I have yellow. What color am I not using for a background? That would be good. Maybe just like a medium blue. Yeah, that works. Maybe a dark blue. Yeah, dark blue. I'm gonna use soft airbrush. And what I'll actually do is do an ombre. So I got the dark blue. I'm gonna do medium blue in the middle. And then the light blue at the very top. So I got a light, medium, dark blue. Tap adjustments because it's all in its own layer. Adjustments, Gaussian blur. Tap on Gaussian blur, and now just with my finger, I'm moving my finger across the screen. Here's my Gaussian blur percentage. And I'm just gonna keep going until I'm satisfied with the look. And I think I like that. I'm actually going to make this bottom part even deeper, like darker. Nope, not lighter. There we go. Tap on Gaussian blur one more time. There you go, that's better. Voila. I have a fun ombre effect with my athlete holding very funky, very fun weights for the Olympics. And you can even add the Olympic logo up top in your favorite team. I hope you enjoyed that. Try it out with your family, with your friends, with a group of people, or just on your own. And tag me on Instagram and below in the comments. Let me know how it worked out and if you have any further questions. I'll see you guys in the next video. Talk to you soon.